you look now at KD. We talk saying, is he the best player in the league? Is he best scorer? LeBron has something to say about that. He got no votes for best player in the league right now. And guys, personally, I want to agree with that, because if you speak physically about right now what just happened, I think the same talk can go for the MVP award. If you look right now what just happened in the league, LeBron got lost in 6 games in the first round. He was not very healthy, and the Lakers didn't look good. So now they're revamped, of course, but we haven't seen anything yet. So in my mind, yes, I don't think he deserves to be, maybe a vote here or there, yeah, but I don't think he deserves to be in the conversation for the best player right now. I think right now it should be Giannis, because, he's on top of the world. I think if you're physically speaking of right now, at this moment, who is the best, you can't give it to LeBron, because you haven't seen LeBron play in a few months now. You saw Giannis play last month, or maybe 2 months ago. Whenever the finals ended, that was the last time you saw Giannis play. And he was the champion. So in my mind, it's Giannis. I'll give it to you guys now to give some thoughts, but I don't think LeBron being the best player right now, at this moment, is a fair statement to make.
Yeah, I think I understand where you're coming from, and I don't think anyone would argue that the majority of the vote, maybe some people, but I don't think most people would argue that LeBron James should get the majority of the votes. I think it was more that he didn't get any. That was the shock, and I think that's a little disrespectful to me, to the incredible player that he is, and I think he deserves at least a couple votes. But I think everyone was in unison, I guess, in seeing how dominant Giannis can be, how dominant he was this year in the playoffs, and I totally understand that. But for me, I think it's a little disrespectful, and LeBron certainly felt a little disrespected with not getting a single vote at all, considering, sure, he was hurt last year, but it's LeBron James, and we've seen how good he can be even at his age where he is now. So he can be, when he's at his top of his game, when he's healthy, I mean, he is right up there with anyone, any player on the planet. So, that's why I'm sure he's frustrated. But also, we talked about The Last Dance a minute ago, and there's always that, that saying from MJ, and I took that personally. LeBron is going to take this personally. You know that. You already saw him come out and laugh about it, essentially, because obviously he still believes himself, because he's still playing. He's obviously going to still believe that he is the best player in the planet, and rightfully so, as confident as he is. So that'll maybe, really motivate him to go out and not only stay healthy, but have another dominant year, despite the fact that he's growing in age, and help this Lakers team, who certainly has finals aspirations.
I'm with you, Sam. And, if I had to put maybe a dark horse or some bet on MVP, I think that LeBron's a good pick, because
as much as a dark horse as he can be, although he's still LeBron James, but
he gets 0 votes for best player in the league, right? I think that, along with a lot of skeptics or people that don't really believe in Westbrook on the Lakers, I think they're going to have to find a way to make that work. And I think a lot of people are down LeBron right now. I think he uses that as motivation. And I see him having a really good year. But if I'm picking best player right now, got to go to Brooklyn. It's got to be Kevin Durant for me. I just, I had the opportunity of seeing him game 2, against the Bucks. And his offensive performance was just spectacular. I think that's one of the best performances I've seen in person. And while they weren't able to best Bucks, I think that speaks more to the depth of Milwaukee and just, the excellent run that they went on. It's either Giannis or Durant, but man, I just see what Durant's capable of, his arsenal of scoring, everything that he can do. And it's just tough for me to think anyone other than him.
Yeah, that's fair. I for me, it's one of those two guys, and you saw it in the Eastern Conference Finals. That was arguably the best matchup in the playoffs we saw. So it's definitely the arguments there. Katie even talked very briefly. I'll mention Katie talked about on the show with Draymond. He talked about how he was always this big, skinny kid, but he could move. He was agile, unlike the guys who were kind of looked like they were on stilts. So that's where he's just so dangerous. He moves like a guard, shoots like a guard, can post you up, can dunk on you, can block your shot. It's everything. Giannis adds a jump shot. I don't think there's an argument, but that's a discussion for another day.